Well, now for the stories in detail, starting first up with all square there in Mohali, and the action now shifting to Delhi for that fifth and final ODI. Australia produced their greatest ODI chase in their history to defeat India in Chandigarh. Set a target of 359, the tourists prevailed with 13 deliveries to spare, thanks to Peter Hashcombe's maiden century and Aston Turner's stunning unbeaten knock of 84.
Virat Kohli described the pitch as a belter after winning Sunday's toss in Mohali, and he was proven true by a brutal 193-run opening partnership between Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma. Dhawan reached his half-century in 44 deliveries. Rohit too got his 40th half-century and picked up pace soon after. Runs flowed for the 31-year-old at one stage, and he even outscored Dhawan in the partnership. Just when Rohit looked set to score another century at his favourite venue, he fell to a pull shot against Richardson. His 95 run came off 92 balls, included 7 fours and 2 sixes. Dhawan, though, remained unfazed with the fall of his partner's wicket and completed his century with a fine paddle sweep against Zampa. Arms aloft, he burst into his trademark celebration, and there was as much elation on his face, considering this was his first century after 17 innings. Once he reached his turn, Dhawan got even more belligerent with his stroke play, smacking every bowler that came in his way. He was finally dismissed by Cummins when he missed an ungainly heave over onside, only to see his stumps rattled. His 115-run knock was studded with 18 fours and 3 towering sixes. Virat Kohli, batting at number 4 for the first time since 2015, for once failed to capitalise as he fell to Richardson once again for 7. Pant came and slammed 36 in 24 balls, but India lost a cluster of wickets in the end. The chase began on a positive note for India. Bhuvneshwar Kumar reached Aaron Finch defences for the 4th straight time in ODIs before Sean Marsh was castled out by Jasprit Bumrah, Yorker for 6, as the visitors were reduced to 12 for 2. However, that is when Australia's fight back started. Hanscom looked in the mood from the outset as he started off his innings with a delicate dab down to third man, while Khwaja continued from where he left in Ranchi. The 192-run association between the duo eventually ended when Khwaja was out to Bumrah, trying to pull him, only to be neatly snapped by Kuldeep at fine leg. His knock included 7 fours. Glenn Maxwell walked into an ideal situation at 204 for 3 and meant business right away. However, he couldn't carry on for long, with Kuldeep trapping him LBW for 23. Hanscom reached his century in just 92 balls and took off from there. He found an able ally in Turner, who just felt like he belonged to the big stage. Once Hanscom fell for a 105-ball 117, which included 8 fours and 3 sixes, Turner took over. India just did not know what hit them as right-hander carted every bowler to all corners of the park. Australia had never chased down more than 334 to win a one-day, but that record was clinically smashed by Hanscom. Usman Khwaja and Turner in the 4-wicket win. India missed crucial chances in the field, dropping 2 chances of Turner as visitors took the game home with 13 balls to spare.
Overall, 5th highest successful run chase for us.
There's an old saying in cricket, catches win matches. In India's case, in the 4th ODI in Mohali, that probably cost India the match. After posting 358 and picking up 2 early Australian wickets, it looked like India will be in the victorious position. But these are the uncertainties of the game, that after the end of 100 overs, it was Australia who came out victorious by 4 wickets. Now the caravan moves to Firoz Shah Kotla in Delhi, where the final 5th ODI will be played on Wednesday. With cameraman Rakesh, this is Tapush Bhattacharya, DD News, Mohali.
Well, opener Shikhar Dhawan admitted that the Indian team has twice read the conditions wrongly in successive games in the ongoing ODI series against Australia and paid a huge price. Dhawan said that they didn't apprehend that dew would be a factor, just like the previous game.
No, he's a new player, but we knew that the dew already came. So because of dew, the ball wasn't gripping, and of course that guy played really good knock and took the game away from us. But if there wouldn't be any dew that moment, then it wouldn't be possible to play those shots. Because of the dew, those things just got away from us, of course, and credit goes to him that he played a great knock as well. Yeah, it was very satisfying. to score a century. It's always satisfying, and sad that we lost the game. We had a good total on the board, but it's all right. We got another game coming up, so we would put this game aside and move ahead and keep the energies up for the next game.
Surprisingly, due being given a reason for the loss. Remember, India were chasing in the third ODI, which we lost, while in the fourth, they're defending. Well, let's hope that India bounces back in the decider in Delhi. That's going to happen this week. Well, moving ahead now, England dismissed an hapless West Indies team for just 71 as they completed an 8-wicket win in the final T20 at St. Kitts and claimed a 3-0 series victory. West Indies were bundled out in 13 overs after 2 days after they collapsed to 45 all out, with David Willey taking a career best 4 for 7. Mark Wood took 3 for 9 and Adil Rashid 2 for 18 as England's bowlers dominated. Johnny Barristow struck 37 from 31 as the Taurus chased down the target in 10.3 overs. Left-arm seamer Willey took the first 4 wickets of the match as West Indies catapulted once again. For the host Windies, their innings was the 5th shortest completed innings in terms of bowls being bowled in T20 internationals. On a badminton, 2-time winners Saina and defending champion Sameer Verma will look to shrug off their All-England Championship disappointment when they spearhead India's campaign at the Swiss Open, starting with the qualifiers in Basel on Tuesday. For Verma, this event started his journey that culminated into a World Tour final semi-final finish last year and a career-high ranking of world number 11. He had defeated newly crowned All-England champion Kento Momoto in the quarterfinals a few months before the Japanese went on to become the world number 1 and world champion last year. World number 14, Verma will most likely open his campaign at the event against compatriot Ajay Jairam. Verma might face fellow Indian B. Sai Parneet in the second round, and a favourable result is likely to hand him a chance to settle scores with the former world number 1 Victor Alexander. Remember, the Swiss man has, Danish man has defeated him in the first round of the All-England Championship in Birmingham last week. Among other Indians in the fray, the other Indians in the fray, fellow Shatna Parupalli Kashyap, a former Commonwealth Games champion, will face a qualifier, while Sai Parneet will meet England's Rajiv Forshape, and Sarah Loxlake's Open champions Shubhankar Dey will also take on a qualifier in the first round. Well, moving to football and the English Premier League, Liverpool maintained the pressure on Premier League leaders Manchester City by coming from behind to beat Burnley 4-2 in tricky conditions at Anfield. Burnley took a shock 6-minute lead when Ashley Westwood scored direct from a corner. But Liverpool was only behind for 13 minutes before Roberto Firmino tapped in after Tom Heaton had fumbled Mohamed Salah's cross. In the first half, played in strong wind and hailstorm, Liverpool took the lead when Sadio Mane curled a shot past Heaton. Firmino grabbed his second with another tap-in to double Liverpool's lead after a poor goal kick from Heaton. Goodmanson gave the hosts a late scare by scoring in the 90th minute before Mane sealed the win. Arsenal, meanwhile, have defeated Manchester United 2-0 at the Emirates to inflict a first Premier League defeat to new manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer since he replaced Jose Mourinho in December. The Gunners picked up the victory through a first-half strike from Granit Xhaka, while David De Gea should have kept out, and a second-half penalty from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Lukaku wasted a couple of big clear chances for United to draw level. Soon after Arsenal's second goal, a fan ran onto the pitch and shoved United's defender Chris Smalling before being removed by stewards. The Gunners have won 7 out of the 10 top flight games in 2019 and are 1 point behind North London rivals Tottenham, who sit third in the table with 8 games remaining. United, who started the weekend in 4th, dropped to 5th in the race for a Champions League spot next season. Remember, the top 4 teams get a direct berth into the Champions League, while the 5th one comes through the qualifiers. Well, for more on the EPL title race, we're joined by a football tracker from the newsroom, Narayan Singh, joining us this evening in the studios. Narayan, good evening. Welcome to the show. Narayan, how would you look at it? The title race is, split wide open. On one hand, you have Liverpool, breathing down Manchester City's neck. But how do you see this going down? Does it go down to the wire, or do you think Manchester City have this deal very much under control?
Definitely, and we can say that the EPL title race will go down to the wire, because currently after 30 matches we see that the top two teams, the Man City is at the top with 74 points, and Liverpool sits second with a difference of 1 point, that is 73 points. So there is a difference of a single point between the two teams, and 8 matches are to go. And the big question is that whom they will play in the 8 matches. First of all, the City on 20th April they are hosting Tottenham Hotspur, which is at the 3rd place. And after that, on 24th they will visit Old Trafford, which is against Manchester United. We can say these 2 matches will define their crowning, because currently Man U is also formed after the appointment of their new coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who was appointed after the sacking of legendary Jose Mourinho. And after the appointment, he has showed that he can be there for the permanent basis, the way he managed the club, because first time he lost a match in the top flight in the English Premier League. So definitely those 2 matches will define the crowning of Man City. And on the other hand, Liverpool also has 2 tough matches in the Premier League. First, they are also playing Tottenham Hotspur, and after that they will play Chelsea. Currently, Chelsea is not looking so bright as we see their recent form. If they manage to beat these 2 clubs, definitely they have an advantage over City, in that sense that they are playing City, because City is not in Chelsea, because Chelsea is in not that form. So definitely if they win, if Liverpool manage to win the matches against Tottenham Hotspur and Chelsea, definitely they can manage the title the first time after a long decade, we can say that.
Okay, purely looking at it from a managerial level, because football is more about managers than about team. Purely, coming back to the, the drawing board, how would you say Pep has the edge over Klopp, or would you say it's even Stevens there, when it comes to the managers?
Definitely, we can say that in current scenario, the Pep Guardiola is one of the best coaches the football has ever seen. The way he won Champions League with Barcelona. Again, he came to Bundesliga and won the domestic title there. He won the EPL with Man City last time. So definitely we can say he's one of the best coaches, the best tactician of the game. But as far as Klopp is concerned, he is the coach who has the better head-to-head record. As far as head-to-head record is concerned, he against Guardiola, he has an edge over Guardiola. He's the only coach in the world who has a better head-to-head record against Guardiola. Therefore, Klopp is a type of the coach who can just who can change the strategy at any moment of the game, the way he has done in the match. And definitely, his coaching tactics will be seen in the coming on Wednesday night, when his team will play the Champions League match against Bayern Munich at the Emirates Stadium in Bundesliga. With the Bundesliga giants Bayern Munich. So definitely that match will decide how the tactics of the Jurgen Klopp goes. And apart from that, we can say that both the coaches are at the par level, and a lot will depend upon how they use their players they have.
Okay, purely coming back to the EPL, you've got Tottenham Hotspur holding the keys to, either of the teams winning, and then you've got a Manchester United that a City faces as compared to a Liverpool that take on a Chelsea. Who do you think, purely looking at the opposition and the form that they bring to the table, the odds tilt in their favor in terms of Manchester City and Liverpool?
Currently, we can say that both the teams, there is a difference of only 1 point.
True.
But the thing is that in current scenario, as far as their remaining matches are concerned, the only 8 matches are remain. A slight edge can be given to the Liverpool, because the way they have to play against Chelsea, while Man City will play against Tottenham Hotspur and Man U. In current form, Man U is a very destructive side. They are in a flow. They lost the match against Arsenal, but they are on a roll the way they playing currently in the English Premier League. So we can say that's very tough to stop Man U, and that's Man U is a big hurdle for the Man City. If they manage to win the match against Manchester United, definitely we can say that that will be the second time they will with Pep Guardiola, the coronation will be for the City. But one thing is that the City is under pressure right now in Europe because they are probed by the UEFA for the for avoiding the financial fair play rules in football. That may go against them if the probe is on. If they found culprit, definitely they may be banned from the Champions League. And if such some news comes, and definitely it will be a setback for the champions right now.
Okay, we've almost analyzed 1 and 2. When you look at 3, Tottenham is almost there. 4, 5, 6. You've got Arsenal there, you've got Manchester United there, you've got Chelsea there. Do you see a possibility that 4, 5, 6 you could see a bit more churning still happening? We've got 8 matches to go. Is there some churning expected there? Maybe somebody who's sitting at 4th today could lose it. Maybe Manchester United and Chelsea out there can make a rare entry there, or an entry through the back in the final 8 matches.
Currently, the 4 teams that are after 1 and 2 slot, the 4 teams are Tottenham Hotspur is at 3rd place. After that, Arsenal is at the 4th place.
True.
And after that, we see that Man U at the 5th and at Chelsea is at the 6th. But the 3rd place team, Tottenham Hotspur, currently the situation is like that. It's looking like flowery for them. They are under top 4, but they have 2 big matches. And the first match, the 2 matches are against the top 2 leading teams of the Premier League. That is against Man City, and the second is against Liverpool. So it will be tough for them to win both the matches because both are in a flow, both are playing a great football right now. If they lose both their matches against City and Liverpool, definitely it will be tough for them to be there inside the top 4. In that case, it's looking like that it's very tough for Tottenham to be there in the top 4, and Man U has a chance because the way the football they are playing after the appointment of the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they are playing a different football, so somehow it's looking like they can manage somehow there. And the point difference between the 3rd place team and the 4th place team is only a difference of the single point.
True. One final word, we've got Jose Mourinho buzz that Jose Mourinho might be joining Real Madrid. How much of a turnaround can we expect? Real has lost, their striker Cristiano Ronaldo last season given off to Juventus. Having said that, how much of a turnaround can Real Madrid do if Jose Mourinho lands up there in Bernabeu?
Definitely, Jose Mourinho is a kind of a coach. We can say is one of the most talented coach of this generation. The special one, always known for his special tactics, but somehow he failed at the Manchester United and Chelsea. But currently we can say the conditions at the Real Madrid is currently favors Jose Mourinho because the type of coach he is like that. He never won a Champions League or a domestic league with the star-studded player.
True.
When you remember when he won Champions League first time is with Porto with the no big star with them. Again he won at the Inter Milan. The no big star was there. So we can say that currently is Real Madrid is going through the situation of crisis. Ronaldo is not there. The top guns are not firing. Midfield is no one is there. Luka is there, but Cruz is there. But it's looking like that they are searching their shadows in the last match we have seen. So right now, the tactician like Jose Mourinho can change the scenario at the Santiago Bernabeu.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Let's hope that Jose Mourinho comes to Real Madrid and there is a transformation that this club has seen. They won the Champions League prior to this exit that they made this season 3 times in a row, and Real Madrid has a long history of being a champion side. Let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that we see a bounce back from Real Madrid. Thank you, Narayan Singh, for joining us this evening in the studios and sharing your insights on the big game. Well, moving ahead now to La Liga, we're talking about Real Madrid, and Real Madrid recovered from a shambolic first half to claim a 4-1 La Liga victory over Real Valladolid in what could prove to be a farewell win for head coach Santiago Solari. Following the home defeats to Barcelona and Ajax that ended its hopes of major honors this season, Madrid had already benefited from a missed penalty and 2 disallowed Valladolid goals at the Jose Zurilla before Anar gave the hosts a 29-minute lead. But Rafael Varane was gifted an equalizer and Karim Benzema headed Los Blancos into a 2-goal lead in the 59th minute, having dispatched a spot kick 8 minutes earlier. Madrid is at home next weekend against Celta Vigo, who sit in a relegation zone, while it did remain a point above. Sergio Gonzalez's men will be looking to ease their plight when they travel to Eibar. Well, moving to tennis, India's top-ranked men's singles player Prajnesh Guneeshwaran continues his dream run in the first ATP Masters 1000 tournament with an upset win over world number 18 Nicholas Batshuayi in the second round of Indian Wells tournament in California. The 29-year-old qualifier ranked 79 places below Batshuayi, needed 2 hours and 31 minutes to win 6-4, 6-7, 7-6 to set up a third-round clash against big-serving Ivo Karlovic. Prajnesh, who has defeated Benoit Paire in the opening round, once again proved that he can take on the best in the business, as he not only held his game together but pounced on the opportunities that came his way. The Asian Games medalist won 52% of Batshuayi's second serve points, and the pressure built on his serve saw the Georgian commit 11 double faults as against just one by the Indian. Though the last 2 sets were decided via tie-break, Prajnesh had 10 break points against Batshuayi through the match. Rafael Nadal, meanwhile, kicked off his run at the 2019 Indian Open with an impressive 6-1, 6-1 win over Jared Donaldson. The number 2 seed was one of the last players to get started at Indian Wells in California, while Donaldson earned a straight sets win over Tatsuma Ito in the first round. The Spaniard is a 3-time winner at this Masters event but missed last year's tournament and hasn't raised the trophy since 2013. After Donaldson won the first service game, Nadal took control in 5 straight games, including 2 breaks, to finish with a 6-1 opening set win. The second set was more of the same, making everything difficult for the opponent. Well, that's it in this edition of Sports News. We're going to be back again tomorrow evening, same time, same channel. Till then, goodbye, take care, have a safe and wonderful evening ahead. Bye-bye.